What I want you to do is forget everything you've ever learned about CE classes, real estate, all that. Leave it at the door. You can pick it up when you leave again, but just try to have a clear mind. The other thing, if you're doing something right now that's working, you know what I suggest? Keep doing it. So one of the things that when I do these CE classes, and forget everything you were thinking when you figured out I was going to be the instructor. Because I really don't care what you think about me, okay? And you shouldn't care what anybody else thinks about you. So we're going to show you some things that if you will do it, it's guaranteed to increase your income. Would you like to increase your income? Anybody? So I set, who has the roster? I can't lose that thing. Everybody would kill me. So let me have it. Oh, okay. Everybody signed it?
No, not everybody.
Who didn't?
I already did. Did you sign it? Yes.
Okay, here we go. And make sure I get it back. I'm trusting you with it, okay? I sat behind a desk in a new home sales model for almost 11 years. And I dealt with a lot of you realtors. I'm like, when you learn how to say it, will they promote you? I topped out at about 151 or 152,000 a month. And you can work your tail end off making this much money or work your tail end off not as much making this much money. What would you rather do? Because I'm telling you something, probably what most of, thank you, sir, I appreciate that. What you've been told on how to make money and how to do real estate, I can guess if you're like 99%, well, 98% maybe, of the people I know, you're making it way too complicated, you're trying too hard, and you're taking it way too seriously. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? So again, you don't have to believe anything I say. I'm going to show you what you can do, and I guarantee if you leave here and you implement some of the things I show you, I can guarantee you it'll increase your income. Now here's the sad part of reality, because I study humans. I'm not a techie, I study humans. At the core level, we all think the same. Most people don't do a damn thing. Or if they do anything, it's just enough to get by. That's most people. So if you're not like most people, if you'll do the 3 things that I'm going to show you, basic in this class, and we'll repeat them at the end, you're going to eliminate 90% of your competition at least. Why? Because most people don't do anything. They leave, they talk, and they don't do anything. I'm going to give you some implementable steps that you can do starting today to attract people to you that want to give you money. Is that cool? Cool. And here's the rule when somebody wants to give me money, make it easy for them to do it. Do you take this? Do you do this? Yeah, I do. Even if I don't, right? What do we need to do? We're going to go until 11, because I usually start at 10, so this has thrown me off of 30 minutes. So somebody keep me lined out. We're going to break about 15 after to 20 after. Do a 10-minute break. We'll go in and do another hour, get lunch, do a working lunch, and we'll be out of here probably by about 1. Does that sound good? What my outline? Now, as far as the outline goes, everybody got an outline? Isn't that a cool name, New Home Rockstar? Who needs one? Pass it down, please.
Can you get me one?
Yes, ma'am. Cynthia, you didn't get one?
No, I was making sure.
You did a great job. I appreciate that. First, I'll tell you a little bit about me as far as you knew what I used to do. I now own my own Wilshire Media Group. I do a lot of cool stuff online. I'm an author. I wrote a book. We'll talk about that as we go, because one thing I want to teach you to do, or at least start thinking about, is if you want people to pay attention to you, learn to talk in sound bites. Do you know what that is? Anybody? It's a little short piece of information. Just do it. That's a sound bite, right? So years ago, I used to change my voicemail every day and put these little sayings on it, right? And I was always having people call. This is back when we actually answered our phone, right? And people would say, "Don't, Ronnie, leave your voicemail. Don't answer. We want to hear what's on your voicemail today." And after a little while, I'm like, man, there's got to be some money in this somewhere, right? So I actually wrote a book and did a lot of stuff with it. So I'm going to teach you how to talk in sound bites. Little short pieces of information. And if you can get good at that, it'll increase your attraction power and people paying attention to you. I said that what we're going to do, try to get, okay, by one. New homes versus what homes? I always called them used. Why? Because I was selling new. So here's another thing I want you to learn right up front. Words matter. Words matter. And you'll hear me say this over and over. The difference in winning and losing, the difference in success and failure most of the time is in the little details that most people deem unimportant. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Add it up, it's the difference between winning and losing. I had a friend of mine years ago that got her first listing, and mainly the reason she was the only one that showed up to the listing point out of 5 listing appointments the guy had. She's the only one that showed up. So you're going to hear this over and over and over in this class. Show up, stay in touch. Show up, you showed up. Most people don't even do that. They don't even bother to show up. Show up, then once you show up, now you stay in touch. And we're going to go into what that involves, okay? So when I was selling new homes, I was the agent will say, well, we've got these resales. Is that what you'll call them? And I looked at the lady that was wanting to buy. I said, man, why would you want to buy used when you could buy new? That realtor looked at me. Guess what that lady wound up doing? Buying that new home. So I'm going to tell you, if you get good at selling new homes, it's the easiest checks you'll ever cash. Now, I know there's been some uproar in the industry the last several years, but there's still a lot of really good builders out there paying realtor commission 2% or above. And if you get really good at that, let's just say you just get a little bit of what I say today, and you only add 1 new home sale a month to what you're already doing. Anybody good with math? What do you think that would add to your income if you just did 1 extra a month? Probably be pretty good, right? Let's go over a few of the things that's the advantage of new versus used. The builder kind of does everything for you. So if you get really good at making the appointment, and we'll talk about that, why you should make an appointment with the new home sales builder, the sales guy, saleswoman, everything you do, who is watching you? Your client. So when you make an appointment with the new home salesperson, what does that make you look like?
Professional.
You're professional, you value their time. So I'll tell you, there used to be, back when I was younger, I'm still young, but it was all about money. Then it was time. What was third? Health. Was I've migrated deeper into the lifespan. What's number 1? Health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. You become a liability. Take care of your health. Now, some of you youngsters in here, that'll go right over your head because you're going to live forever, right? I moved to Houston when I was 27. I just turned, well, I'm about to be 62. That's how quick it went. Well, probably faster than that. So now it's health, time. What's all the way 3? The people that you're dealing with, and I'm going to show you how to attract the right people. They have plenty of money. Do you know what they value more than anything else besides their health?
Time.
Their time. And if you can show them that you respect their time and you got it all together, because see, all they have, so think about this for a second. Do you think you really need a real estate agent to buy a new home? Technically, you don't. You don't even need a real estate agent to sell a used home, technically. Right? Now, if you're smart and you value your time and you have plenty of money, when those people get ready to buy or sell, what are they looking for? A good real estate agent. But whose responsibility is it to stay in touch with cool people? It's not theirs. See? I'm going to give you, as we go through this class, I'm going to give you the way that I stay in touch with people. And I only stay in touch with cool people. And I'm going to give you something that'll help you right now if you do nothing else and learn nothing else from this class. Start today. Eliminate all the non-cool people from your life. Disengage the non-engagers. See, we try to be all things to all people, don't we? Huge, huge mistake. Do you know that 99, and I'm not exaggerating, 99% of the people that walked into my model, I will not say they couldn't afford my house, but I will say they were not properly budgeted, okay? And I could tell when they walked into my model, and just to give you an idea, my houses were about 550, 600,000, and this has been 15-something years ago. Huge houses. You wouldn't believe if I told you everything. Those houses today are probably $1.2 million, $1.3 million. But I knew, and again, if you hire you somebody for your tech skills, get good with your people skills. They're invariably more valuable than any tech skill you'll ever learn. Because what happens as soon as you learn a new tech skill? What happens after you learn it? They change it. Learn, get good with people. And if you look, if y'all are nice, I'll probably give away one of these. Can anybody read that?
Attract and engage is better than chase and
Convince. Attract and engage is better than chase and convince. Once you get out of that chase mode and get into the attract mode, everything in your life will improve geometrically in all directions. Did I tell him a realtor? Did I tell him a realtor? Did I tell him a realtor? Hey, did I tell you I'm a realtor? Most realtors, that's what they do. They lead with their card. Unless you're Elvis or Martha or Cynthia, don't lead with your business. People come up to me all the time and they go, Ronnie, you never told me what you do for a living. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I didn't. Why didn't I? Well, I haven't figured out yet if you're cool or if you like former long-haired, kind of long-haired loudmouth hippies. What if you don't? Does it matter what I do for a living? So when you understand how this works and how people interact with people, if I like you, does it matter what logo you have on your card? You don't even have to have a card. If I don't like you, does it matter what logo's on there? You could have the fanciest logo in the world. If you want to write this down, it's real big. I call it the likability factor. If I like you, I'm going to give you a lot of chances and a lot of stuff. If I don't like you, you could be the best in the world at what you do, and I'm going to go around. I'll give you a real quick story. Back in the day when we used to answer our phone, I was the very first person at my company to give out my cell phone number. Most of y'all are too young to remember this, but we didn't give out our cell phone number, we gave out our pager number, right? And we would stop and use the pay phone, believe it or not. But I was the first person at my company to put my cell phone number on my business card. All the people I worked with, or a lot of them, Ronnie, I can't believe it, your clients are going to be calling you day and night. I'm like, why do you care when they call me? You never call me. Ronnie, they're going to make us do it now. Oh, that's your problem. Do you know in almost 11 years I sold new homes, do you know how many people called me after 6 o'clock? 2 people. One, it was something about feng shui, and the other one, I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to tell you another little something, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about bonus material through this. People want to be given options even if they choose not to exercise them. So every time I had a client that bought a house or a prospect, here's my card, and I'll hand out my card if y'all want to take one. And we'll talk about that in a minute, or maybe next session, next hour. I would say, call me any time of the day or night. My cell phone number's on there. I probably am not going to answer between midnight and 3 a.m., but you can call me anytime. In 11 years, how many times do people call me? Twice. If you tell somebody, especially a female, this has been my experience, that they can't do something, what does that make them want to do just to prove you wrong? So it's like, call me anytime. But when the phone rings, do you have to answer it? If it's your mother, or maybe. But see, the thing is, most people live their life in the reactive mode, right? Reacting to everything. Here's another little piece of information that'll help you tremendously. Get out of the reactive mode, get into the proactive mode. So how do you do that? And I think this is on here somewhere, so y'all notice real quick, I really don't follow the outline a lot. If you want to simplify your life, well, I tell people, if you simplify somebody's life, do you know what they'll do for you? They'll give you money. Because all they need is you to take care of their issue. And I'm going to show you how to get them to trust you and call you when it's time. So, if you simplify their life, they'll give you money. Whose life do you have to simplify first, though? You have to simplify yours first, your life. So here's how you simplify your life. You want to know? Here's everything in your life, right? Oh, I'm going to simplify this. Move this here, move this here, move this off. No, take everything, clear it. Only put back on what is absolutely necessary to you achieving what you want to achieve. Everything else is noise. You've heard, don't confuse activity with accomplishment. And a lot of people do that. And I'm going to give you something else that I just read 3 days ago. According to HAR for 2024, 74% of realtors sold how many houses?
Zero?
74% of the realtors on HAR sold 0 houses. If I was a real estate agent, you know what that would do to me? I'd probably jump out and go to work right now. Wouldn't even finish this class. I mean, and I'm going to show you how to do this, guys. If you set up your system and you're consistent with it, you have eliminated the vast majority of your competition. I'm just telling you. Now, again, you may not believe me. I don't really care if you believe me or not. I'm just giving you information. And we're going to go through this too. You're not there to make decisions for your client. What are you there to do? Give them their options and let them decide. Unless you're paying the rent or going to live with them, you're just a consultant. You're just giving them their information. And people that value their time, have plenty of money and value their time, that's all they want. They want to know. I saw on Facebook a while back, I got 14 showings today with my client. If you're my real estate agent and you can't narrow it down to 3 or 4, you're no longer my real estate agent. Just saying. And we got an inspector here, and we were talking, David, where's David at? He's back over there. Inspection, we're going to go into this later. Inspections much easier, no existing conditions, warranty through the new home builder, latest and greatest technology. So if you have somebody that really wants the latest and greatest, maybe the new, that's what they look at. How many people, if they say they want a used house, do you say, hey, have you considered something new? How many people y'all do that? Yeah, because you never know. And if you do it, man, it eliminates a lot of issues with a used house. Latest and greatest, no bidding wars. Those are over with, right? There's still bidding wars? You said it. Anybody else say it? Okay, well, but there's not near as much as they used to be, right? Because I see a lot of inventory out there. So, yeah, no matter the economy. Salesperson is your partner, right? Do you know I had a real estate agent walk into my model one time and she goes, "What is your BTSA?" My clients are in the car. I'm like, "For you, nothing." But I'm telling you all this. This is real world. I don't make any of this stuff up. This is some of the competition that you have. See, Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality, right? Ronnie, I don't know if I go into selling new homes. You know you have to have a real estate license to do that? All my friends. Would you believe that's absolutely incorrect? If you do have a real estate license, they'll make you deactivate it? Wrong information. Ronnie, do you know that's commission only? Oh, really? I thought they paid you $1 million a year just to show up. I'm going to check into that. Thanks for your concern. Ronnie, do you know you have to work weekends? I cannot tell you how many realtors I had. Ronnie, I couldn't be a new home salesperson because I don't know if I could work the weekends. If you're a real estate agent, you work 7 days a week instead of me 4.5. I work 4.5. So my point is this. I'm just giving y'all a different way to think, okay? Because probably a lot of things that you've heard or have been thinking are not true. I'm just going to give you some reality and let you decide what to do with the information. So when you walk in, make an appointment, and then let the salesman do most of the talking. They know everything, right? Now, should you have called and tell them what you want and all that stuff? Should you have checked it out? Yeah, probably. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Extra income. Let's talk about connecting. Remember I said show up, stay in touch. Most people don't show up. Of the ones that do show up, most of them don't stay in touch. Why do you think most people don't stay in touch with other people? Why would you think?
That transaction.
Bad transaction? Anybody?
They're not doing their job.
Huh?
They don't have a follow-up system.
Bingo! They don't have a system to do it, set up. And if they do have a system, it's way too damn complicated. Simple and fun is better than complicated and boring. Okay? When's the last time somebody come up to you and said, "You know, Martha, my life is a little bit too exciting. It's a little bit too simplistic. Could you introduce some complexity and some boredom?" Assume, you know, they say about assume, but this one is pretty safe. You can guess that whoever you're dealing with, they're already on information overload. So if you can simplify their life a bit and take care of their issue, they're not going to care about all those numbers you got on your card or those letters that most realtors can't even, "Oh, I'll forget what that one was." You see what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, you've probably been making this way too complicated and not having nearly enough fun. If you're having fun, David, what do people want to do if they see you having fun? They want to join you, right? You know, Gabriella, this burying bodies out in the hills, that's illegal, right? You know that, right? Well, let's get finished so we can go back. Do you see my point? No matter what you're doing, they want to have fun with you. But most realtors are themselves so much on information overload that they forget to have fun. They forget to enjoy what they're doing. I think it's why that 11 years went by so quick with me, is I really loved what I did. And if you love what you do, you know what people can tell? Man, they want to join you. They can tell, right? But the only way you're going to do that is to set up the system that allows you to have fun. And if you don't have a way to stay in touch, we're going to talk about that more, you're always starting over. And it sucks. I'd always start over. Visit communities in your area. How many people go out and visit the salespeople in the area that they live, or a 25-mile radius or whatever? Do you go out and visit them? See, here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you something very important. Life is about starting conversations. The more conversations you start, the more money you're going to make. If you're not making the money you want to make, I can identify one thing that's not happening. You're not starting enough conversations. I guarantee you could go back to the last check that you cashed, and if you backed it up, you could probably identify the conversation that you started that led to cashing that check. So you know what? When I was selling new homes, 99% of the people couldn't afford my house. Didn't care. I still sold a ton of houses. Why? I didn't waste time with people. I didn't waste time. We're just looking today. Well, all looking's free. I'll be in my office if you need me. Now, if that was one of those 1%, what would they do? They'd come looking for me. Now, who has all the power at that point? Because what do most salespeople do? Follow them around. Oh, my Lord. Would y'all say mostly females in here? I have found most females are smarter than most males in most areas. That's my finding in my life.
We are.
No, I'm dead serious. The best man for the job is generally a woman. I know it, and I understand that. There's a few things we can do better that we compliment you, but so think about this for a second. When you understand that most people are on information overload, that most people just need you to take care of their issue, do you think that kind of relieves you a little? That you don't have to prove. See, if you understand attraction is not a choice, if you develop the courage to be who you are, you're going to automatically attract the very people that want to do business with you or become your referral partner. Now, here's another big mistake, and I'm sure it's on there somewhere. The big mistake I see real estate agents make, and not just realtors, they try to make a client out of everybody. That's a huge mistake. I've got something called my way cool friends list. What's it called that for? Only cool people get on there. If you're not cool and you lie to me at first, tell me you're cool, I'll eventually figure it out you're not, I'll take you off. Only cool people on there. You know about 95% of them have never bought anything from me? But why are they on there? Because they talk about me. Ronnie, I met somebody today. They need you. Boom. I just had a guy call me 3 days ago from a referral in El Paso. Ronnie, I'm ready. What do I need to do? I have my Zelle ready. Within about 30 minutes, he had Zelled me a pretty large amount of money. It was a guy that I'd met a year ago that I'd stayed in contact with. Because here's the thing. Most people, when you meet them, statistically, 96%, I think it's higher, not ready. They're not ready. 2 to 4% are ready. Most people, if you don't want to buy right now, forget. Huge mistake. Where's all your money in that 96%? See? So if you have the system set up where you can stay in contact with them. So starting conversations. I'll show you this. I wrote this for my son who was 36. I know y'all thinking I don't look that old, but I wrote this for him and now my 2 grandsons. This is my mom and dad. This is my dad at 21 in 1950 and my mom at 15. I'm like, Dad, wasn't that again the law? Well, back then it wasn't. She said, I did have to get permission from my parents, but it was not unusual to get married. Loretta Lynn married her husband Doolittle when she was 13, stayed married to him 66 years. Anyway, if my dad hadn't started a conversation with my mom, guess what? I wouldn't be here. Jacob wouldn't be here. John and Luke wouldn't be here, my 2 grandsons. How important is it to start conversations? Now, see if y'all been listening. How do you know once you start the conversation, how do you know whether to put them on your list? We start talking about a list. I'm going to show you psychologically what's happening when you stay in touch with the people on your list. I cannot tell you how powerful this is if you will actually do it. But again, what's the problem? Most people don't do it. But again, I always tell people, Do you know that there's about 99.99999% of the people on this planet that don't even have any idea that you exist? And of the ones that do know, they don't care, most of them. I always tell people, I had this guy one time, Ronnie, I want to do this, but I'm afraid, what are other people going to think if I really screw it up? I said, let me help you out a little. I said, first of all, I'm going to tell you a little something about the people that you know. Most of the people you know are not thinking about you. Who are they thinking about? Themselves. Okay, so we got that one cleared, right? The other people that are thinking about you, it doesn't really matter, right? So I said, maybe you should stop thinking about what the people who aren't thinking about you think about you. They're not thinking about you, that's your problem. Because to get in touch with you and give you money, they have to think about you, right? And they're not thinking about you. But if you stayed in touch with them and built up what I call that emotional currency, and we're going to talk more about this, it's really fifth dimensional stuff. That's the biggest word I know. But it's really cool what happens psychologically when you stay in touch with people and you add value to their life. And most people are totally oblivious to it. But it's why, and we're going to talk about this as we go into it, if you look at successful people, they do basic things, right? Over and over and over. So, visit the community, start the conversation. If they're cool, get them on your list. If they're not cool, don't get them on your list. Don't try to force a connection. Women are so good at this. You can tell, right? No, I'm dead serious. So I'm going to give you something to write down. Attraction is not a choice. But if you develop the courage to be who you are, you become your own competitive advantage. People used to walk in. The dude next to me, this is historical documented fact. The dude next to me sold his good or better house than me. I outsold him 45-5. And I know this is back when the houses were real cheap, around $400,000 to $500,000. You're probably wondering why I only sold 45, right? I had nothing left to sell, and he wouldn't give me any more of his lots. Why were they buying me 45-5? What is that, 8-1? 9-1? Why do you think? Here's something you might want to remember. People buy you before they buy what you're selling. So I used to answer my phone back in the day, and this lady called me. Ronnie, I would like to buy a house. This was Saturday night at 8 o'clock, 8:30. I was at a restaurant. Had to go out where I could hear her. Ronnie, I would like to buy a house from you. I'm like, cool, we sell houses. Maybe we should talk. Made an appointment. I said, I've got an appointment at noon. How does 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon sound, which was a Sunday? Yes, Ronnie, that sounds good. I will see you then. Just finished up that was the fifth day of my work week. I just finished writing up my fifth one. She showed up at 2 o'clock and bought 5 more from me. So in 5 days, I did 10. Pretty impressive, huh? Over the next 2 weeks, she bought another 5 from me. I asked her why she bought from me. Because she wanted to buy, this was in South Dallas. I don't know if you ever heard of a little place called the Woodlands. You ever heard of that? Yeah. Right across from there, we had 548 acres. It was called Crichton Ridge and Crichton Woods. I don't know if you ever remember. It's still up there. The land's still up there, the houses. She wanted to buy in Pearland. You know, I didn't really pay attention in map class, but Pearland, South Dallas, what's going on here? I said, why'd you come way up here? She goes, Ronnie, I did not like the salesperson. Well, it turns out she's like a famous. I said, what do you do for a living? She goes, Ronnie, I am famous in my country. I'm like, well, if you move in here, we'll have 2 famous people, me and you. She loved that. But Why did she buy from me and not in Pearland where she wanted to buy? It's called the likability factor, isn't it? And most people don't get that. So if you develop the courage to be who you are, you're going to automatically attract not only who you want to do business with, but some of the best referral partners that you can imagine. Because if I refer somebody to you, Gabby, are you going to have to convince them how good you are if I refer them to you? Basically pull out the listing agreement, right, or whatever. I've already done the selling. I'll give you another quick example of that. I had people all the time walking in my model. The blinds people, not blind people, but blinds people. The irrigation people, mortgage people. So I had this lady walk into my model one time. She was a mortgage lady. Now, I don't know if the fact that she was this really hot blonde had anything to do with this story I'm about to tell you. I haven't researched that part of the story. But do you know over the next year, I sent her probably $10 or $11 million worth of business. And I had to literally, she wouldn't give me cards. I had to take out my card, put her name on the back of it. Hey, go talk to this lady. What did she do right, though? She walked in. The likability factor was there, and I sent her a ton of business just because she showed up. That was a pretty good, valuable day for her, wasn't it? So if you're not making the money you want to make, start more conversations. How do you start more conversations? Huh?
Showing up.
Showing up different places to the events of the... Talk to people, but in the events like when they open a new community. Anything. There's so many ways. I used to hang around with this skinny blonde. She was amazing. Her name is Catherine. She goes, I don't want to go to the store with Ronnie. It takes 3 hours. Why? If you're nice, we're probably going to stack up a conversation. You not believe all the things I've sold to people that I've met at random places. Because if they're nice and cool, does that make sense?
Right.
Get on the, go ahead.
I'm not blonde, I'm not skinny, but would you like to be my partner?
I like that. That's confidence, and confidence is very attractive. Remember that. Confidence is very attractive. It has nothing to do with arrogance or disrespect. It has everything to do with knowing who you are and why you're here. Oh, and I forgot to thank you for letting us use your space. I usually do that right up front, but it's very cool. This is a very good view. I'm going to give you a way to get on my Way Cool Friends list probably the next hour because we got about 5 minutes. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. I like that. See, if you're cool, you don't have to force it, do you? You kind of know when you meet somebody. But here's the other thing. They try to teach you to be all things to all people. Do you know what that leads to? Psychosis and neuropathy. It's not good. You go insane, right? How many people's had somebody that you want to like, oh my Lord. I'll tell you another quick story. I had this person, I'm going to try not to identify what she was. Dang it, I already did. It was a female. But she walked in with her agent, and you could tell by the way she was treating her agent, she was a total, not a nice person. So I tried not to sell her a house because I didn't want to deal with her. Guess what she wound up doing? Buying a house. As fate would have it, she bought the house directly across the street from my model. So for the next year, every time I drove in, if she was there, I would drive into my garage, shut the garage door, and shut my blinds. I'm not even kidding. But when, coffee time? That's all good. We'll let you slide on the first one. The next one you have to leave. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, some people are more famous than others, right? I called her agent up and I said, I was the king of $10,000 BTSAs. We kind of ran the place, so I could give out $10,000 BTSAs when I wanted. So I called him up and I said, I got something for you. Next time you're out, he said, I'll be out on, he told me. So he walked in the door, and as soon as he did, I was like, handed him this piece of paper. He goes, what is this? I said, this is my contribution to your sanity, brother. It was a $10,000 BTSA. He goes, oh, Ronnie, you do not know how much I appreciate this. I said, now, I do reserve the right to make a gentle suggestion if you'll allow me. He goes, sure. I said, Get rid of her. Don't get any more like her ever. He goes, yeah, man, she's been rough. Do you know how many cool people out there that if you started a conversation, if they didn't buy, they might send you somebody, and you don't have to deal with those kind of people? That takes years off of your life. Now, you youngsters may think you're going to live forever. It doesn't happen. You ain't going to live forever. I used to think that too. Go meet the assistants of the new home salespeople. I cannot tell you the people that didn't treat my assistant. That didn't happen a lot, but occasionally happened. That didn't treat my assistant nice. Guess what happened to those people? X. Like they never showed up. Don't hang around non-nice people. Did I mention that? Learn the product. Educate yourself on the building process. We're actually going to go through that. New home communities, ask resident sale pro what makes them different. I tell you what, we'll go through this last part really kind of quick, and then if you have any questions, we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back. How many people here concentrate or has sold, well, let me ask you this way. How many people would consider yourself very new at selling new homes? It's not okay. It's okay not to know. I'm going to give you some more bonus material. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, I don't know is a perfectly intelligent and legitimate answer. I mean, this may come as a surprise to you, but I don't know everything. I just ask somebody that knows, right? So when you understand, what do most sales trainers, now, I'm not trying to target anybody, I'm giving you my experience, okay? What do most sales trainers, if you don't know the answer to a question, what do they tell you to say? I don't know, but I'll find out. Would you like to know what has worked tremendously well for me? You know, Gabriella, that's a great question. I don't know the answer. But if it's important to you, I'll find out. Do you know what about 98% of the people say? Don't worry about it. Nah, it's not that big a deal. Nah, it's not that big a deal. Do you know what they're trying to do when they're asking you questions? Just trying to figure out if they like you or not. Now, yeah, it is important to me, Gabriella. Okay, let me write that down. Because occasionally it is, but most of the time they don't care. They're kind of nervous. They're just trying to figure out if they like you or not. No is a complete sentence. Any explanation on your part is purely optional. You don't have to live your life explaining everything you do to everybody you meet. It's you mess up your head. Why are you trying to please people that don't even know you exist, that wouldn't even show up to your funeral if you dropped dead today? Is that a little harsh? I'm just telling you reality, guys, and if you understand this and learn this, it'll help you make a lot more money. Guaranteed. Do you know there's people out there right now, and we'll end with this and take a 10-minute break. You can listen to me. We don't take longer. I'll give you a 2-minute warning. But do you know there's people out there that are not nearly as intelligent as you that are making 10 times more money than you're making? I'm just telling you. I used to look up some of the realtors that walked into my model and see the houses they sold. I'm like, that can't be right. That's got to be a typo. I'm dead serious. But what were they doing? They were at least showing up. They were at least taking some action, right? So we're going to show you how to get a plan together during these next 2 hours or hour and 30 minutes or so. And so when you leave here, you'll leave with confidence. What happens if you have a lot of confidence? What can you do? Anything you want, right? And remember, I told you, confidence is very attractive. It has it doesn't have anything to do with arrogance or disrespect. You know, I'll list your house for you, but the last one I listed, it took me about 3 weeks to get the pictures on MLS, and they sucked when I got them. But I'm better at it now because I got me a new camera. Well, it's not a new camera, but it's better than that other one I had.
No, you shouldn't say that.
I want somebody that's confident. Y'all don't know this, but Michael Jordan, back before most of y'all were embryos, 20 seconds left in the game. The Bulls are behind by 2 points. What is Michael Jordan telling the coach in the huddle? Give me the ball. I want the ball. See, most people are not ready. Most people don't step out. But why? Because they're screwing everything up in their head.
He was confident.
They don't have confidence. Selling real estate, if you set it up right, is not that difficult. I've done it. So it proves, well, at least on the new home sales side, it's not that complicated. It's about your people skills.